Still got a lot of baseball to play, and I know that it's starting to tick a little bit, the clock, but we've got to continue to keep pushing, continue to find ways, and right now those ways are hard to find, and but we can start finding the way, and especially at home, I think a good way to kick it off, and that starts tomorrow.
Dan Wilson searching for words on how to describe his team these days as the Mariners continue to struggle. They're coming back from a 7-game road trip. They were 2-5 in that trip. They led for a total of 5 innings that entire road trip. So lots of criticism of this team of late, especially on the offense. The trade deadline is coming up Monday by 3 p.m. Pacific time. The teams all have to make their move by Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. Dave Wyman with us. And, Dave, I know this is a lot of chatter you get there at Seattle Sports 710 with you and Bob during the day. Lots of Mariners talk, I'm sure. Do you think there's help on the way, and will these guys make a move by Monday?
Yeah, that's the big question. I mean, I think, and I've kind of changed a little bit because people have been talking about trading away Emerson Hancock, and I'm just like, no, I don't. Why would you do that? Emerson Hancock is he was a great find. They've been so good at drafting and developing good pitching, and I just don't think it's very clear who they need. I mean, I think what they need offensively is their players that they have to start hitting up to their baseball card, so to speak. So yeah, I mean, that's been one that's kind of bothered me. I've heard that chatter about them, trading a great arm like Emerson Hancock. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's also the fact that the American League is so up for grabs that you don't really know who's going to be a seller, other than like the Angels. So, but it'll be interesting to see if maybe Jerry Dipoto does a deal with somebody that he's familiar with. Like, we've done deals with the Padres, we've done deals with Tampa Bay and Arizona, the Diamondbacks. So, yeah, I wonder if there'll be something. Those are kind of the 3 teams that I'm looking at that they've done work, trades with in the past that they're familiar with.
Yeah, even Cal Raleigh said the same thing you said, that the playmakers have to make plays. They have to start hitting, including him himself. One of them, though, could be down in AAA right now. Michael Arroyo, he's hitting .324 in Tacoma right now. He can play a lot of different positions. I mean, what do you think about bringing somebody up like him?
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be the answer or not. I think maybe that will supercharge them. But again, yeah, they have these great players that they've developed in their system. But I'll say this: I'm more, as far as the trade part goes, I don't know if somebody coming up from AAA is going to necessarily spark this team. But I am okay with trading prospects because the players that down in the minor leagues, we don't know if they can play at the big league level or not. And a lot of people have, said, like Ryan Divish will always say that, you don't hang banners for having the best farm system. Those guys are there to either help you by bringing them up or as trade pieces. So, I would be okay with that. But, I'm very much against trading a guy like Emerson Hancock that's proven that he can do it in the big leagues.
Dave, you alluded to it earlier, and Ariel just spoke to it a second ago. The players on this team can make things happen, and you just got to have them playing to their potential. Yeah. And in my opinion, I don't feel like there's somebody that you can just go out there and pull off another team that's going to make that kind of a difference in this lineup right now. So looking at where they are right now compared to where they were last year, I know last year there was just a lot of excitement in the clubhouse, in the dugout, in the team, in the city about this team, and I feel like it's missing right now. What is your opinion on that, and how do we get that going in the clubhouse again?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, maybe it's a piece like Brendan Donovan. I feel like if they just get healthy, get Brendan Donovan back and Matt Brash back, he's a little bit further out, I think. Yeah, they have the pieces. But, baseball is just weird that way. Like, it's really hard to explain what's going on with Cal Raleigh. He does a show every week with Shannon Dreher on our station and, the Cal Raleigh show. And he just, you listen to him talk and he's a very balanced guy, like he's not freaking out over this, but he knows that this is just baseball. He's just slumping. He's just a little bit off. So, yeah, I just have always, felt whenever we talk about the trade deadline that they have the players there. And if they can just start, playing their best baseball, I think they have a better team. And really, I think they have a better team than they did last year. So as far as personnel goes, so yeah, just a very strange year this year for the Mariners. And I think, like when they beat the Dodgers in the opener the other night in the series, you're like, okay, is this the launching point? Then they lose 2, so you're like, okay, Cal hits that first pitch grand slam against the Reds. You're like, okay, that's the point. That's the launching point. And then, they lose a couple games. So yeah, it's been very frustrating for Mariner fans. But the good news is that the AL West sucks, so they're able to stay in it, right?
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
I think that what you were about the launching points, I think people want these to be launching points, but unfortunately to me, it seems a lot like exactly 2 years ago when they went 1-8 on a road trip and fired Scott Service.
Yeah.
So I do think that we're not getting that one thing that will be the impetus to turn it around. I really think that needs a big, broad change.
Yeah, as Dave talked about, I mean, he mentioned the grand slam against the Reds, and you talk about the win in Texas that everybody thought, okay, they got that win on Sunday, and they were going to bounce back, and that was going to be the one they build off of. And they keep looking for those games to build off of, and it's not happening. But there has been this steady, increase of production. There's been traffic on the base paths. They had chances last night. They had the bases loaded with 1 out and couldn't get it done. Josh Naylor has quietly put together a 21-game on-base streak. He had a couple of hits last night. Randy Rosarina, 3 hits. The guy's hitting 283 on the season. He continues to rake. And Cole Young, quietly, has come off a strong road trip. In those 7 games, he hit 393 over those 7 games. So maybe to your point, Dave, is the fact that there are some guys on this team that are quietly getting the job done, and they're never out of it, as you said, in this division.
Yeah, and like Colt Emerson, that's another young guy that I just love. He makes great plays, and he's not exactly on fire right now, but I just there's no real. I mean, I just don't look at any position and go, wow, they're really weak. It's very obvious that they need to get somebody as far as a trade and the trade deadline goes to fill that spot. They have the players. So just a matter of, them playing their best baseball. It's been a very frustrating year for Mariner fans. We in our show, we have lots of people that text into the show, and there's a lot of people that are angry about it, so, but it's a good group of guys. I think, every time we talk to somebody, we just talked to Logan Gilbert the other day, such a good dude, such a good family guy and good teammate. And same thing with Cal. And then, you got Josh Naylor, who's a little bit on the quirky side, but really cool and a great teammate and everything. These guys just, they deserve to win, and they're so easy to root for. But Mariner fans getting pretty, I don't know what the word is. I guess just mostly frustrated.
Yeah. Well, listen, Bryce Miller was scheduled to start last night in L.A. Dan Wilson gave an extra day's rest. He will start tonight against the Twins. This is a 9-game homestand for the Mariners. It's their longest homestand of the season. They get the Twins, the Tigers, and then the best team in the American League right now will be here next weekend, the Tampa Bay Rays. And when you look at this schedule a month ago and you think, oh, the Twins and Tigers are coming to town. We can maybe beat up on them, get some wins, and collect them, and it could be the Get Well Tour for the Mariners. But now, I mean, you look at the Twins, they're right there in that wild card hunt, and the Tigers are hanging around in the wild card hunt. So, and then of course the Rays. So, you get to this point where who's going to be your trade partner? Well, all these guys are in the hunt, so it's tough to find a trade partner.
Yeah, so the thing I found out about Major League Baseball is if your team is doing super great this week, they're on top of the world, on top of their division, just wait 3 days.
Yeah.
Something's going to change. Something's going to flip-flop and things are happening. Again, so you looked at this a month or so ago. Again, you looked like it'll be a place where the Mariners could get right, get some wins. But these are some of the toughest teams in Major League Baseball right now. But again, the bright side of that, the silver lining of all that, is that we get to face them here in T-Mobile, which is the place that this Mariners team has had the most success this season. So in order for us to get right, win some games, we got to do it right here at T-Mobile. So that's the bright side
of
this.
That's the bright side, is right.
And especially this pitching staff has absolutely been night and day on the road and at home. So much better at home. I know Brian Wu had to go yesterday so that Bryce Miller could have a little bit of rest, but man, don't you wish he would be here tonight instead of last night, because his splits on the road and home are drastic.
Isn't it ridiculous?
It's insane.
Yeah,
and the only other silver lining I could see from that series coming, the 9-game homestand coming up, is that Tarek Skubal probably won't be there when you face the Tigers, because he is very likely on the trade market going to, I think, the Dodgers at this point.
Yeah,
who
else?
Yeah.
I mean, they're just over there with blank checks coming out of L.A.
Yeah.
All right, Dave, quickly, you got a 9-game homestand. I just want to get your take on Dan Wilson real quick, because that seems like he seems to be in the target and the crosshairs of a lot of Mariners fans. Give me a 30 seconds or less on Dan Wilson and the job he's doing.
Well, I mean, I think Dan Wilson, a lot of people, the frustration is they want him to, like, throw tables and chairs in the clubhouse, and he's just not that kind of guy. You have to be authentic. I don't see really any indication that the players aren't, or they doubt him or anything like that. I think they like him. He's a focal point for a lot of fans. And like I said, a lot of the people that text into the show, it's all about fire Dan. And, to me, I don't know. The older I get, the more I'm like, it's on the players. You got to go out there and you got to get it done, man. So, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. There's also some talk about, well, because of the 50th anniversary, they're not going to let Dan Wilson go because of that, because he's going to be one of the top 50. I don't think that's a thing, but I think that the season is much more important than the 50th anniversary celebration. So, yeah, I mean, I think if they thought it was Dan, that he would have been gone by now.
Yeah, I've always believed that too, and I'm sure I'm not alone. Obviously, it is on the players. They have to perform and get the job done. Dave Wyman, always appreciate the visit, man. Great to talk football and baseball with you. Looking forward to seeing you as this football season rolls on. Thanks a lot for coming on.
All right, you guys look great, and tell me what T-shirt to wear next time.
I will do that.